Good? We're live? Okay. We are live for another week. Hello everybody, thank you very much for tuning in to a new episode of HobbyLink Japan. HobbyLink, what are we calling this series actually? I don't remember, but yeah. HobbyLink Japan Live TV Scale. And this is the episode where we talk about modeling, scale modeling, the stuff that you actually build yourself. My name is Todd. I am going to be your co-host, and once again I am joined by the lovely Matsuri-chan. Thank you very much for joining us. Oh, we got some background clapping going on. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. Okay, excuse me. My voice might be a little bit off today. I ended up catching a bit of a cold right after that last episode that we did. Maybe I caught something when I came here to Tokyo, I don't know, but yeah, my voice is still not exactly perfect, but no worries, we'll get through this week's episode just fine. Yeah, actually, I didn't think we were going to do an episode this week. The last time we were on the show 2 weeks ago, I said I think we won't see you again until after the Shizoka Hobby Show, because this week was actually the Golden Week national holiday here in Japan, so a lot of places have been closed, and it's a bit of a short work week for us, so I didn't think we were going to do it, but we are back. We are going to do it, and this week's episode, we've got a couple of different things to talk about, but before we get into that, I do want to push. We don't have any campaigns or current things that we are pushing for this week like we have been the last few weeks. But we still want to remind you about our scale page. We do have a dedicated page on our site for listing the new scale items. So please be sure to check that out. That is going to be hlj.com/scale. So please be sure to check that out. And if you go to our main HLJ HobbyLink Japan site, there's a link for that scale page on the top right corner. So please be sure to check that out. We do have a couple of scale related social media accounts as well. We have one on X Twitter for HLJ Scale, and there's also one on Facebook for HLJ Scale as well. We should put some comments into the comments here for linking to those pages, so please be sure to check those out as well. So let me go ahead and drop another link for the Twitter account. So please give us a follow there, and also please be sure to give us a like and comment on this video if you are enjoying it. So thank you very much everybody out there for tuning in. Okay, so gosh, it's been 2 weeks. Did you have a good 2 weeks?
Yes.
Did you have a good Golden Week holiday?
Yes.
What did you end up building?
I was building a model for Shizoka Hobby Show.
Oh, so you're building for the Shizoka Hobby Show as well. But what you're building is a bit different than what I'm building.
So.
What is it? Can you say? Is it a secret?
No, it's just AFV Club, another Churchill.
Another Churchill tank. How many times have you built the AFV Club Churchill tank now?
Maybe this is the fifth one.
The fifth AFV. Okay, do you have it memorized? You don't even need to look at the instruction manual anymore. You're just like, oh, I know where this part goes.
Around the trucks, that's the same.
Okay.
On the top, we usually look at the instructions.
Oh, so you still need it sometimes. Well, I guess for those tanks, like, even though you've built 5 of them now, maybe they're not all the same, because one of them was the bridge layer tank, and then others are like the standard type with the turret on the top. And then there's like early and late models. Do they have that kind of thing? I'm not a huge Churchill expert myself. Like the Tiger, you've got for like the Tiger tanks, you've got like the early Tiger tanks, and then you've got like the later ones, and then like the Sherman tank, you've got like a cast hole tank, and you've got the later ones with the welded holes. Do Shermans have those or not the Shermans, but Churchills have those differences too?
Mark 3 and Mark 7.
Okay. 3 and 7. What happened to 1? Do they have any kits for those earlier tanks?
No, I think.
No? Okay, maybe they just weren't widely used. Maybe like 3.
3. So many of the kits are based on 3.
Okay. 3 is the most widely Churchill. Okay, so maybe you can bring that tank in that you built for the show for a later episode, and we can take a look at that one. Okay, well, that'll be exciting. I also built something for the Shizoka Hobby Show, but unlike your kit, which will be at your club's group booth type of thing, mine will be at the Beaver booth. So this is actually the kit that I built myself here for the upcoming Shizoka Hobby Show. This is what I was busy doing during the Golden Week break. Yeah, okay, we'll talk about that one in a bit. But right now in the beginning, let's talk about what I built for the Shizoka Hobby Show. And this is from the maker Mung. And this is the BMW R18 Classic. Now this version, there's actually two different boxings that Mung released for this motorcycle kit. There's this version, which is the pre-painted version. And then there's also another version which is not pre-painted, so all of the runners come with like just a gray, standard gray plastic. So you have a choice out there of which version you want to build. Thankfully, excuse me, I was able to get the pre-painted version, so that kind of saved me time because I don't have to. Right? So yeah, I don't have to spend the time to paint it and everything. And actually, so before you guys, probably long-time viewers out there know that I used to do the Gunpla TV for our HobbyLink channel years and years and years ago. And of course, when you build the Gundam model kits, you don't basically, well, you can go back and paint them, but you don't have to. You can just kind of put it together, and it's just a snap fit kind of model. And this R18 is actually the same deal as like a Gundam kit. Is you don't. I ended up using glue in a few places just to get things to stick together a bit better. But you don't really need to use glue. You can build this entire thing without using glue at all. Everything just snaps together. Actually, not only does it snap together, but this kit comes with little tiny miniature screws. So it actually screws together in places. Yes. And those screws were, I mean, in the end it went together quite well, but yeah, because those screws are just really super tiny, they could be a bit challenging to kind of deal with at times.
How do you use it?
Yeah, I mean, the holes are already pre-molded into the parts, so you just kind of have to line up the parts together, and then you drop the little tiny screws. Sometimes I had to use tweezers or pin sets to kind of hold on to some of those screws and be able to get them into the correct holes sometimes, because literally if you try to do it with your fingers, the screws are just so tiny that it was like nearly impossible just to use your fingers to get the screws into the holes by just using that. But actually the screwdriver ended up becoming magnetized. So I could just use the screwdriver itself to pick up the screws and kind of
the screws were made of metal.
Yes, the screws are made of metal.
I see.
So yeah, so I see somebody commented about screws like an MG kit. So that was the really old master grade kits. I don't think any recent master grade kit has used screws, but on the older Gundam master grade kits, they did have kind of screws. But I think those were kind of bigger than this kit. They were super tiny. Those screws. Let me take the box off so I can kind of hold on to this thing and take a look at this better. But yeah, this is really good. Although it doesn't have stickers, it does have some water slide decals. So that was, it's been a while since I built anything that actually needed to have water slide decals. So like you can see here, the BMW symbol on the side of that gas tank, that is actually a water slide decal as well. And these decals were really kind of tricky. They, like, as soon as they got onto the plastic, like, they stuck. So you had to, you had to be sure to line them up, like, from the get-go, because once they're on, like, I could not move. Like, usually decals, like, especially when the plastic is as glossy as this, you would think you'd have, like, some time to kind of get them in place. No, especially these ones for the BMW symbols, I don't know what glue they had on those decal sheets, but dear goodness, like, you can't see it, and I discovered this unfortunately when I was doing actually, let me just take off this windscreen because that's because there's on the brake calipers as well. You can, let me make sure it's not reflecting there. There's a little BMW logo on the side of those brake calipers. That's also a water slide decal. And where I discovered that these decals are going to be a little bit of a pain in the butt was excuse me. Thankfully, you can't actually see it now that it's built, but there's another BMW decal on the rear brake caliper as well in there. Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to position this to be able to see it on the camera. Maybe you kind of see it down there. Thankfully, you can't see it, but yeah. I learned with that rear caliper decal that these are going to be a bit of a pain in the butt once I got it on there, or it wasn't in the correct position, so I tried to move it, and then I discovered I couldn't move it. I was like, no, crap. And I tried to like apply some extra force and I ended up scratching the decal, like crap. So yeah, that was fun, but thankfully you can't see that, and I learned that mistake out there. So if anybody else out there ever wants to build these any one of these Mung bike kits, just be careful with those decals, especially with the BMW logos. But the tank itself is pre-painted. So, and then the rear fender, you can see it has those nice white lines on there. That's all pre-painted. The symbol in the back here is the decal. This is a decal as well for the number plate. So, but yeah, so it looks really cool though once it's built. I mean, if you were just to see this, could you even like normally like pre-painted stuff? I think you can kind of tell like it was maybe not like painted professionally, but this kit, I gotta say, it really looks like I wouldn't be able to tell that this wasn't like professionally built kind of thing, just because the painting is so great on it.
すごいね、グロス。
Yeah, it's got really nice chrome plastic on there.
綺麗な色。
And it is a beautiful kit. It looks really great. So this R18 model that I built is going to be on display at the Beaver booth. I think we've mentioned it on this show before. Beaver is the name of our import company, the import version of HobbyLink Japan. So they import kits in for sale into Japan here. So Mung is one of the companies that they deal with. So it's a great kit. Now Mung has been doing a number of these motorcycle kits in 1/9 scale. They've got a Honda Fireblade that also went up for pre-order recently as well. So I was actually hoping maybe to be able to build that kit for the show, but unfortunately, excuse me. Unfortunately, it did not make it in time, so I couldn't build that. It may be for the upcoming September Tokyo Hobby Show. Maybe I'll be able to build that for that show. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Is it
but
also pre-painted?
I think there's two versions. So these Mung kits, they seem to always be doing two versions. One version which is not painted, and then one version which is a little bit more expensive, which is going to be painted as well. So actually, let's take a look at the images that we have for this bike that we have up on our site. So I think the first image, actually, maybe it's going to be for that HobbyLink Japan scale page. I don't think I forgot to talk about this, but yeah, that's our HobbyLink scale page. I forgot to put this link up when we were talking about that. Be sure to check out the link for that HLJ.com scale site. So it's updated frequently. I don't want to say daily because sometimes there's just nothing, but here we go. So this is okay, so this is the BMW, the R18 Classic. That's the box art that you saw, and then these are the images that we have up on our site for this kit. And looking at what I built here compared to what you see on the screen there, it looks really close. I removed that windscreen for a second here, but yeah, it also comes with this windscreen, and you can see a really good close-up detail engine shot there. The Beaver booth. So yeah, one of the comments said the Beaver booth. So next week is going to be the Shizoka Hobby Show here in Japan, and HobbyLink Japan itself does not have a booth at the Shizoka Hobby Show, but our sister company, the Beaver Corporation, which imports kits into Japan, they do have a booth at the Shizuoka Hobby Show. So if anybody out there is coming to Japan to check out the Shizuoka Hobby Show, be sure to stop by the Beaver booth. It's going to be in the South Hall, and you'll be able to see great kits from makers like Mung and Takam and Ryfield and Amusing Hobby, so Edward as well. Oh goodness, they import a number of kits into Japan here, so be sure to check them out. Alright, so yeah, more images there of the kit, and here you get a good look at the dash there. And you can see there's the brake fluid reservoir on the right side of the handlebar there. You got the the dash. Actually, the decal for the speedometer was actually, that one was pretty easy. There's 2 decal sheets included with this kit. Only the decals with like the BMW symbols on it were kind of a pain to work with, but the other decals for like the speedometer and the brake fluid indicator, which is on the, actually I forgot to put that decal on there.
I see. なるほど。
But yeah, there's one here for the rear brake as well. So those decals were a bit easier to deal with and work with, and they had more time like I would normally expect with a decal. So there you can see it. So yeah, there's the rear brake caliper,
すごいね。
a brake fluid caliper. You can see those little the black circle with the orange at the top. That's a decal. So it's a really great looking kit. It looks fantastic once it's built. So there you go. And so there's the headlights. And actually, the BMW logo on the top of that headlight, that's actually a decal too. So a really tiny decal. That one actually gave me a little bit of paint. That was a little. Hopefully, it's still in place. Is it still in place? Okay, it looks like it's still in place. Actually, I put that decal on there, and then it just like it fell off, and like I couldn't find it. I was like, oh crap! 'Cause the thing is like tiny. I had no idea why that thing just popped off on its own, but I was able to find it, and I was able to get it on, and hope it still had enough glue, I guess, to stay in place. So, all right. So, an interesting thing about this BMW R18 is I actually was thinking of buying one, the real thing, the real bike, at one point. I ended up not buying it in the end, but it is a rather cool looking bike, I do have to say, and I just love the giant honking. It's a 1.8 cc or 1800 cc 1.8 liter engine. It's a twin cylinder boxer engine. But yeah, this bike is really heavy too. It's like 325 kilograms. And it's so heavy that it's one of the very few bikes out there that has a reverse gear. Usually motorcycles do not have a reverse gear.
Reverse gear.
Yeah, cars, like you can, when you back up a car, you put it in reverse, right? Motorcycles don't usually have a reverse gear. Just forward, only forward. But this bike is so heavy that it has a reverse gear.
すごいね。
Right? So it's really heavy.
Like
yeah, so that's kind of a cool feature. But yeah, I took a few more pictures. I put these pictures up here. It was for sale for about 2 million yen.
Wow.
So a little bit on the expensive side. So 2 million yen converts out to about 15,000 US dollars or so. So this was the bagger edition, which is actually the same version that the model kit is. So it's got the bags on the side. I'm more for, actually, if I was to buy it, I'd probably take the bags off. I'm not a huge fan of the bags and the windshield, but it was a cool looking bike.
すごい。
You can see the engine on this thing, so it looks really like the actual bike. Comparing the actual pictures of the actual bike to the model, it looks rather like identical, nearly, doesn't it?
ね。
Isn't that
Yes, it
so?
looks the
Mom did
same.
it looks like nearly identical. So Mom did a really good job having actually seen this bike in person and like the same exact color and everything, and considered having bought it. And then building this kit, it's really cool. So
すごいね。このデカールlooks すごい。
like it looks right. It looks really. The only thing is it's missing the rivets that are holding the actual symbol of the tank on. So
ね、it looks like ダメね、このタンク。
Right.
このなんていうのこのこいつ。
right, so it's really cool looking. But one of the reasons I ended up deciding not to buy this bike is, and I went to there's another picture for this bike here. But yeah, let's go on to the next image here. This thing, so this is a concept. They're calling this the BMW R20.
これすごい。
And it uses the same exact engine as this R18 bike, but it's in a different format. So the R18 is a cruiser style motorcycle, like a Harley type of bike. But the R20 is more of like a upright muscle cruiser style thing. So they increase the displacement of the engine by 0.2 liters by 200 cc to make it 2000 cc. And for me, if I was to choose between buying this one or the real thing and the R20, I would want to have the actual R20. So I prefer more of this style, especially with the boxer engine. So like a cruiser, you would more expect to have like a forward foot control type of relaxed position, but because the boxer has those giant cylinders in the way, you can't really put your feet forward like you could on the Harley. So I think boxer engine is just more suited for this upright naked bike style seating position as well. But unfortunately, BMW has not actually announced that they're going to build this bike or not. So this is just a concept. I went to the Tokyo Auto Show, but the Tokyo Motorcycle Show, which was held in March of this year. And one of the reasons I really wanted to go to the Tokyo Motorcycle Show was just to see this R20 concept bike. So it'll be cool. I don't know who knows if BMW is actually going to make it or not, but if they do make it, hopefully Mung will make a model kit of it as well. I mean, they've already got the parts for the engine, so it's the same engine. They just need to do like some slightly different parts for the bike itself. So yeah, that's a look at the R20. This is 1/9 scale. Which is kind of a bit of a weird scale, if you ask me, because normally motorcycle kits are going to be in 1/12 scale, or a larger format. Like Tamiya has the 1/6 scale for some of like some of the bikes that they've done. Like they had old DAX, I think, in 1/6 scale. So being in 9th scale, it kind of sits between the 12 scale bikes and the 6 scale bikes, but there's not a whole lot of other motorcycle kits in 9th scale, so it's an interesting choice, I think, scale-wise.
That scale is only for Mung?
So far, I think maybe only Mung has released bikes in this 9th scale, and the Fireblade that I talked about before, that's also going to be in 9th scale, and they have a couple of other bike kits in 9th scale as well. I don't remember exactly all of the bike scale kits that they've done in 9th scale, but it is a really cool kit, even if it is in a bit of an odd scale. It looks beautiful. So
you can collect all the series.
Maybe. So, well, yeah, it depends on the bikes they have. But, this was a bit of a pain in the butt to put on, so I'm going to leave. It comes with this windscreen parts as well. But, I mean, when you're riding if you're doing long distance touring on a bike, having windscreen is very useful because you're not being blasted by wind, especially when you're riding at like highway speeds. So it is really nice to have a windscreen, but looks wise, I think bikes look better without these giant honking windscreens on them. So alright, so that's going to be it for the show and tell of the R18, the Mung R18 kit that I built. So for today's episode, yeah, it's a beautiful bike. Let's see if I can put it over here and not knock it over. Alright, so let's leave it up. Alright, so for today's episode, another thing that we are going to be doing, and I don't know, the title of this YouTube episode is Building the Kangaroo. But I don't know exactly how much building we'll be able to do in 30 minutes here. But we'll at least be able to do a bit of an unboxing for this kit and taking a look at all the parts. And I want to take a look. So we both prepared and brought some tools.
Yes.
Which tools? So we're going to talk about which tools we thought we would need to build these kits. I brought a really light because I'm coming all the way down to Tokyo. I don't actually live here in Tokyo, so I got to travel out here, and I didn't want to bring too much with me. So I only brought a few things, but first up, let's take a look at the Kangaroo. So this is a kit we've been talking about a lot for these last few episodes that we've been doing this.
And it's released.
Oh, there was a question. Somebody asked, how long did it take me to build that Mung bike kit? And we got something dropping in the background over there. And actually, it took me about one day. I built the entire thing in just 1 day time, although I started about 12 in the afternoon. Would you say afternoon? Midday? 12? I started around 12 p.m. And I finished around 9 p.m. at night. So I built the whole thing. Yeah, it just took me about one dedicated day of just doing nothing but...
Just only 1 day.
Just 1 day, just watching YouTube or Netflix, is building it at the same time. So it's like a Gundam kit though, because you don't really... everything just kind of snaps into place. So it wasn't terribly too challenging. Oh, there was one thing I did actually forget to mention about that, but the brake calipers, or the brake rotors, I should say. The brake rotors for this kit were actually metal parts. So I had to go dig out some nippers that I could use for metal parts, because all the nippers that I have are mostly for plastic, and they would get damaged if I used it on the metal parts. So I had to dig out some nippers that were going to be okay for use on metal parts. So that was one thing I wanted to add out there. So yeah, it took about 1 day. Another comment asks, is this bike air cooled? So yeah, actually this bike is, I think technically it's oil cooled. So at the bottom of it, let me bring it back out for just 1 second. You can see the oil cooler is down here, located at the bottom of there. So it's not a radiator, but it's an oil cooler. So it's kind of a mix of air cooled and oil cooled. So that is kind of a cool feature. Oh, there we go. Hello. So you can see that oil cooler down here at the bottom, right in front of the engine. Now this is an interesting location, I think, for the radiator for this oil cooler, because it's right behind that rear tire, so it's going to be picking up. And it's at the bottom too. Normally on like water-cooled bikes, the radiator is kind of a bit more higher up. So I do kind of, although it does have like a guard on it, but I do kind of maybe worry about how much that picks up rocks and whatnot and might get damaged. But that's interesting. And the R20 concept, the red bike from the Tokyo show, the oil cooler has actually been relocated to a bit higher up on the engine. So maybe BMW for some reason decided to relocate that higher. I don't know, but yeah, photo etch. So it's not really photo etch though, because it's like those rotors are really thick. Like photo etch parts are usually like really kind of thin, but no, these are thick. Actually, yeah. Do you want to try touching that a bit? It's not gonna fall off, but you can see like. Yeah, those brake rotors, they're like kind of a really thick metal. Like a stainless steel type of thing.
Metal parts.
Yeah, so these are like really metal, but it comes on a fret like photo etch.
I see.
So it is like photo etch in that it comes on a fret, but it's like thicker, a lot thicker than a normal photo etch. And it's not made of brass, so it's not a soft metal, it's a really hard metal. Probably stainless steel. Alright, sorry. That's enough. That's enough talking about the BMW. Back to the Kangaroo. So, we've been promoting this kit for quite a few weeks here. And the reason we've been promoting this kit is that if you buy it from HobbyLink Japan, it comes with a limited edition HobbyLink exclusive decal sheet. And that's only available if you buy it from us at HobbyLink Japan. And we still have some stock left of this kit, but once that stock is gone, that is going to be it for the versions that come with the decal sheet. So be sure to get your orders in soon if you are interested in getting that decal sheet. So this kit is a really big box. It's really tall. And the reason for that is it comes with 2 kits. 2 kits are included with this, and also this standing pilot figure guy. He's also included. And there's parts for 2, you can kind of see him in there, 2 actually sitting people as well. So, and this is in 35th scale. So I've talked about that in previous episodes, that 35th scale, so previous Matches and Krieger kits are like, the scales are just all over the place. So you've got like 1/6 scale, like 1/20th scale. So like a lot of those kits, like they're not in the same scale. So then that kind of, if you're wanting to do diorama type of stuff, like it makes it a bit hard to find things that work with like making dioramas, right? But if you want to build a diorama, what scale is best for diorama?
35th scale.
35th scale.
We have
so
many figures. And
there's many
structures.
figures and like just the option for parts for 35th scale diorama stuff, because a lot of the armor kits are in 35th scale. Just like there's just huge everything, like plants in 35th scale. There's dead horses in 35th scale. There's like farm animals out the gazoo in 35th scale. Just like diorama scenery, like buildings in 35th scale that you can buy. Just so much diorama stuff is available in 35th scale. So excuse me. All right, so I'm gonna keep coughing every now and then, but yeah, so this is in 35th scale. Lots of stuff is in 35th scale. I like having a lot of stuff being available in the same scale. So for me, I kind of do like that these are in 35th scale. So let's go ahead and open it up. Now, to save everybody's ears out there from the well, not unfortunately not from my coughing, but to save your ears from having to listen to all of the individual runner plastic bags being opened, I went ahead and removed the plastic baggings for all of the runners, but I didn't really look at it too much when I was opening it. I just wanted to remove all the plastic bags from the runners. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at all the runners and what you get in this box. At the top here, we've got the instruction manual. So let's go ahead and take a look at the instruction manual first, since we've got this here. And before we get all the parts out on the table. So this is a nice color instruction manual. The layout is very similar to a Gundam model kit instruction manual, I think. So this model is also made by Kyoto. I do want to mention. And the kit we are looking at is the P.K.A. Kangaroo and maintenance crew. So that figure, that lone figure runner, gets his own mention on the instruction manual. Why does he get his own mention on the instruction manual? There you go. Okay, so I guess this is the first runner that we're going to look at in the box here. This is the maintenance crew. So 35th scale. Is that actually 35th scale? Does that look about scale correct? Is 35th scale that tall? Yeah, he's a rather tall looking guy. So there you go. So you get your maintenance crew figure guy, and he comes molded in that nice diarrhea brown. I don't know what color would you consider that, like a tan. Oh, he's holding a hammer. Okay. He's got a hammer in one hand, and the other hand is just doing some kind of open pose. Oh, it's supposed to be on his hip. Probably. So yeah, so he's grabbing his side hand in the hammer hand. So that's kind of cool. It looks rather nicely detailed, and he's wearing a nice cap. So there's your maintenance crew figure. But all right, so looking back at the manual, here, let's go ahead and open this up. We've got the diorama of all the parts that you're going to be assembling here, and just like an aircraft kit, you're going to be starting with the cockpit. So we're going to be assembling the seats here, and now there's two different drivers. It looks like, oh, they've got different helmets on. It looks like, so maybe I can position this for a better look on the camera. So yeah, we've got a pattern A. They don't call it a pilot A. They call it a pattern A and a pattern B. So you've got a choice of pilots, but yeah, this kit comes with two different kits in here, so that you can build this kit in two different formats. Are you going to dig out the runners for those? Yeah, that was actually when we were opening this box a bit earlier. That was the first thing Matsuri-chan was. That's the first thing she wanted to see was, where is the pilot figure? And I found that maintenance runner, because I had left his runner on the top. I said, oh, here he is. You're like, no, I want to see the pilot figure. I want to see the one sitting. So she knows what she wants. She wanted to see the pilot figure, and it was at the very bottom of the box. So わからない. So yeah. There we go. So yeah, do you want to angle that a bit so we can see that on the camera? So there we've got the sitting figure guy. Now there's two different kits in this box, and they come molded in two different colors. So one of them is going to be in this tan brown, although it looks actually, looking at the screen, it looks more green.
So, but it actually is,
right, it looks green on the screen, but actually in real life it's more of like a light tan, sand yellow. That's a good way. I was thinking diarrhea brown, but sand yellow is probably a better way to say that. So yeah, sand yellow kind of light tan color, and or you've got the other color, which is also not, well, that's actually maybe a bit closer, but it's more green, more of an olive green, looking at the actual plastic. On the TV screen, it's looking a bit darker, more darker green, but in real life, it looks more olive green, I have to say. So both of these runners are molded with the exact same parts on them. I don't think there's any differences in the runners, just the color is different. So so one thing, let me grab the desert yellow, is what you called it. The desert yellow. All right, so the desert yellow. Okay, desert yellow. There we go. Thank you for that focus. We've got the face parts up here on the top, and I think here on the side, these are going to be the actual helmets. So this is kind of where it differs between the pattern A and the pattern B, is that you've got two different helmet styles to choose from when you put this together, but the body itself and the arms are going to be the same, and the face parts are going to be the same, I think. So the helmets themselves are basically what's going to differ there. So there you go. So comment, somebody said 1/35th scale Gundams, where Bandai? So 35th scale Gundam, unfortunately Bandai has not built 35th scale in the actual model kit. But yeah, somebody else commented about the jumbo grade. I think technically those jumbo grade things were 35th scale, but jumbo grades were like pre-assembled and pre-built, pre-painted, like vinyl type of Gundam kits, not actual model kits that you built yourselves. I've seen some of those, at least I used to see, and I kind of regret never buying one, but I used to see them in used shops here in Japan from time to time, those jumbo grade Gundam things. They were kind of, because 35th scale, for a Gundam in 35th scale, it's going to be, right? Because you got the pilot figures sitting on the inside, right? And if it's the same size as those sitting things, yeah, those jumbo grade Gundams, they were quite large, so perfect grade Gundam, which is not the largest, mega size. Mega size is basically the largest actual plastic model kit version of the Gundam that they built, and that's 48 scale. And even in 48 scale, it's like about this tall. So if you were to do it in 35th scale, that's going to be kind of a bit larger. So I think that would be really awesome, though, if Bandai were to someday do a 35th scale Gundam kit, at least for the OG Gundam, because that would probably be okay. If you're to do like a new or like a unicorn in 35th, then that's going to be like quite a bit too large. And they might have had a B Club 35th scale kit, I think, but that's like resin, and that's like ancient. My memory might be fuzzy, but I kind of remember B Club did something. B Club was Bandai. They dropped it a long time ago. They dropped it kind of around when the premium Bandai stuff started. But Bandai used to do like resin kits, actual resin Gundam kits. I've got a number of them in my stash at home. They were really expensive too, like a 1/144 scale, which is the same size as a HG kit. For a B Club, if you were to buy them brand new, they were like Sanman. Like about $300 or so back in those days. So yeah, I've got like the Turn X, and I've got the Nightingale. But now Bandai has gone back and they've been releasing some of those old B Club kits in actual plastic. So now they have the actual plastic Nightingale HG 1/144 scale kit. I don't know if I'll ever actually get around to building the resin B Club Nightingale kit that I have in 1/144 scale, but it's nice to have. One of these days. I've got a lot of kits that I've just never built. So back to Kangaroo. Okay, so there we go. So yeah, they did some other of those the jumbo stuff, like the Mazinger and the Gundizer. Somebody has commented. The HY2M. Yeah, that was the brand. So they did 120. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, HY2M. They had the 24 scale Gundam.
すごい.
Yeah, that was big. And like that's like the HY2M 24 scale Gundam. That's actually like one of my holy grail kits. Like if I could ever find one at like a reasonable price, but usually when you see them on auction prices, they're like Nijuman. Like they're really expensive. So I've never been able to get one just because they're so expensive. I've never been able, unfortunately, I never was able to find one at a used store at a reasonable price. And now that like stuff like the Meidocardi and the Yahoo auction is kind of taken off, unfortunately that rare stuff is like really hard to find in used stores these days. So it's a bit sad, but maybe, who knows, maybe one day. And they did have actually like a one crazy, like was it 1/12 or 1/6 scale giant, like the standing, you would see them in the hobby stores. Like they have
sometimes we
yeah,
see.
that's that same HY2M. That would also be like a holy grail type of thing, but I don't know where I'd be able to store it because it's so huge. But yeah, that's another holy grail kit for me. But alright, usually about 10k USD. Yeah, those things get expensive. Expensive. Someday. That's why they call them grail kits. because it's something you would like to have. And now with 3D printers, though, you could probably just print something like the same type of thing, but I don't want to get into that discussion. That's a discussion for another time. All right, but back to the kangaroo. All right, we're getting off topic here. I told you I didn't know how much we're actually going to get around to building this kit. So I'm thinking with this kangaroo, this is going to be more of a series that we will kind of build it over a series of episodes. So it would be impossible to just build this in like one episode. So over a couple of different episodes, we'll continue to do the actual building for this kit live on screen. So for today, we're at least going to take a look at the unboxing, looking at the parts, maybe talking about the tools that we brought with us to actually start building these kind of things and that kind of discussion. But let's flip this manual over to the back side here. So here, as with a normal scale model, we're going to have like a painting guide. So it shows off like a color scheme that you can aim for, and it also has a nice color image of the decal sheet. And that's going to be this decal sheet, and we'll take a look at that when we unbox it later on. But it comes with a normal decal sheet as well as the HobbyLink Japan exclusive decal sheet that comes with this box. Grail kits, because you will need to have Fate type War to get the Holy Grail to get one. That is true. They're just Grail kits. They're impossible, nearly impossible. But it would be really, I would love it though if Bandai were to release a 35th scale, at least for the OG Gundam. Maybe for the 50th anniversary. They just did the 45th anniversary, so maybe Bandai could do something crazy like a 35th scale Gundam for the 50th anniversary. Who knows? We'll have to see. But yeah, so that's going to be it for the manual for this kit. And then you got all of the runners that come included with this kit is going to be listed there as well. So actually, that's a good thing to mention right now while we're looking at this. Anytime, no matter if you order the kit from us at HobbyLink Japan or another source, anytime you buy a brand new model kit, it is always good, as soon as you receive the kit, to open the box. And I'm really guilty of this myself. Sometimes I'll buy a kit and I actually don't open the box, because sometimes when you open the box, it's hard to get all the runners back into the box. So you feel like, oh, I don't want to open it, because especially if the box is really packed tightly with the runners, you just kind of trust that everything is going to be in the box, right? But it is a really good habit to get into whenever you buy a model kit, no matter where you buy it from. Although if you do buy it from HobbyLink Japan, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. But regardless of where you buy the kit, whenever you receive a new model kit, open up that box and make sure that all of the runners are included in the box, because there's nothing worse than having bought a kit years prior, and then finally when you get around to actually building it, you discover one of the runners is missing. And it happens sometimes. Like sometimes the manufacturers, when they're putting the runners in, whoever the part-time person they hired to maybe put the runners in the box, maybe they forget. Or another thing that happens from time to time is maybe you see like this F runner listed here. Maybe they forgot to put the G runner, and you end up with two F runners. That's something else that happens from time to time. So it's a really good habit to get into whenever you get a new model kit, is just be sure to go through and check to make sure that all of the runners, all the parts, decals, option parts, photo etch parts are included in the box. Because if something is missing and you do need a replacement, it's going to be a lot easier to get a replacement once as the kit is new, because there's still going to be stock floating around with suppliers probably, or at least the manufacturer probably keeps some spares around for instances like this. But if it's been years after the kit's released, the kit's discontinued, and then you discover that something is missing, unfortunately that's going to be nearly impossible to get replacement parts. So I just wanted to say that kind of what would you call those kind of announcements? Oh, I forget. There's a specific term for those public announcements. Those, maybe somebody can. My English. I've been living in Japan for so long that I'm starting to forget certain English terms. But yeah, that just wanted to drop that public announcement in there. Somebody's commented, I have too much backlog to check now. Now that's I totally understand that. Sometimes, especially, yeah, sometimes I'm rather guilty of this. I'll buy a kit, I bring it home, and it goes onto the shelf, and I never open it up. One of these days, when it's Bandai, at least, I can kind of feel more secure in knowing that it's going to be correct. Everything is going to be in the box, because Bandai is usually pretty good, I find. But Bandai is still guilty of maybe sometimes missing parts as well. But yeah, so it's a good habit to get into, to be able to check, just at least open up the box, check to make sure that everything is included. Yeah, I ship, so somebody else commented, I ship 10 to 15 kits at a time from the private warehouse.
Wow.
And yeah, going through and checking 10 to 15 kits definitely would be a bit of a hassle, but it might be a good habit to get into, just making sure that all of those parts are included. Yukuri. So, alright, so let's get back into looking at what's included in this box. So let's go through all of the runners. So now there's going to be, it doesn't matter, just take them out one at a time. So anything is whatever's on top. So, and yeah, so... Alright, so looking at the A runner first, so we got some cockpit parts here. And we've got both of the two different colors. And you can see that's going to be the window. This is going to be the cockpit part, so you'll be able to see your little pilot figure through that window there. Now, this kit also does include some clear parts. How much longer are we going to stall? So yeah, I mentioned we're probably not going to get around to a whole lot of building this episode, but we're at least going to take a look at what comes included in the box. And I really want to take a look at the tools that Matsuri-chan has brought, what she included. So yeah, let's kind of rush. Let's get through looking at these parts. So here's the clear parts that I mentioned a bit earlier. So you've got that clear window piece there, and that's going to go fit nicely behind that cockpit there. So we got clear parts as well. We've got E-runner. So we got the E-runner here. I'm going to grab them from you there. So this is going to be more of the actual body parts included in there. So, and the arm parts, we got some of the arm parts on here as well. Did we look at that D runner? I see it here, but I don't think I talked about this. So we got a small runner here. This is going to be the D runner. So the D runner, we've got parts for the, looks like the hatch, I'm going to guess, maybe? Oh, this could be, is that going to be the foot parts?
Yeah, foot parts.
Oh, okay. You know better than I do. So we got some foot parts. Thank you, Matsuri-chan. And the next runners, what do we got here? C runner. Okay, so we got the C runner. Oh, these are going to be, so these, actually looking at these, I realized these are the same runners that we've seen before. So a few episodes, what was P.K.A? I don't remember. You probably remember better than I do, but
maybe the same.
The same. So yeah, this Kangaroo kit actually shares some same parts. I think the lower body and the legs are the same as that other mat kit that we built together. So I saw these runners, like, I've seen these runners. I remember cutting these parts off. That's C runner. Okay. I think this. Yeah, this is the. A little bit different. Okay. Well, the runner does actually specify. Oh, actually, yeah, that's another thing to point out. So this runner, this is going to be the F runner that we are looking at here, and it says Kangaroo on the top of the runner, but it doesn't actually say Kangaroo for that C runner. It says Kister. Kister. So that is going to be, and actually the D runner for the feet as well are going to be for the Kuster. So yeah, the Kangaroo is using the same parts from that Kuster kit, which is the other one that we built. So
maybe these Kangaroo parts are the
these Kangaroo parts, these are going to be new parts, which are going to be this episode called Stall Tactics, a key to model building. That is very true.
More
Kuster. Okay, so we got the B runner here. We got B runners, more Kuster. So all of these smaller parts, yeah, these are like all of. I'm gonna assume also that we're going to end up with some parts that we're not going to use at all, probably on this kit. So that's kind of one thing that cool. I don't know. Some people think it's nice. Some people don't like it. But sometimes, right?
You can do like mixing build.
Right. So I kind of like when you end up with parts that are included, but you don't actually use with the kit, because then you can cut these spare parts off that are not used, and then like keep them in like a spare parts type of thing. A spare parts box, and then sometime when you're doing scratch building or you're doing some customization work, then you have like these extra parts that I think they're what's the term for them? Ghiblies? Like you can use like these parts for scratch building for use on other things.
So this is the figure parts.
Oh, there's the figure. So that's going to be more kangaroo parts as well. So okay, so that's the figure. So is that it for the box? Or where's the decal sheet? We're missing the decals. So we did show the clear parts. So this is going to be the same clear parts as here, but we only need to look at one of these anyway. So I'm going to throw this off to the sides. Kit bashing. So that's the term. That's a term. So this is the HLJ decal. Oh, there it is. Okay. There's what I was wanting to see. Okay. And also it comes with these 2 small wires. I did not bother to open this one up here. It's going to be, maybe I can turn this around, you can see it better that way. But yeah, it comes with these 2 really small thin wires. Now these wires are going to be used for adding like pipe work on the legs or in the body, I believe it was. Was it the antenna?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
I think.
Oh, are you sure?
They have antenna.
Oh, okay. So that's going to be the antenna then. There you go. So it comes with these little things for the antenna. On the arm. All right. So we got some behind arm pipe. So behind the camera, our behind the camera help is telling us it's for the arm pipe. So that's there. And these are really small, so I did not want to open this bag because these are going to be really easy to lose. So let's take a look at the stock, the standard decal sheet that comes included with this kit. So this is going to be the main decal sheet that this decal sheet comes with every Kangaroo kit, regardless of where you have purchased the kit. And it's got some nice numbers on there. It's got some eyes. It's got some snakes. It's got some of those kind of warning type of marks for putting around, which you would see normally on like aircraft type of model kits, like be cautious, don't open this panel type of thing. So that's really cool to see. And these are, because this kit is in 35th scale, if you end up with decals that you don't use when building this, it's nice to have this sheet, because 35th scale, you can go on to use these decals with any other 35th scale kit that you may want to, kit bashing and whatnot. So it's a really nice looking decal sheet, I gotta say.
Yeah.
I like the snakes. Sorry, I tilted it over to get a look at it. And you got some more skull and crossbones. Doing reverse camera. Don't look at my nails. They look bad, maybe. I see you get some numbers there. Numbers in different colors. So you can choose to use whatever numbers and markings you want with this kit. So this is the standard decal sheet that comes included with this. What do you guys out there listening, what do you prefer to say? Decals or decals? I know America, I think we say decal, but in the UK they say decals. So you can say decal. So, and here is going to be the HobbyLink Japan limited edition decal sheet that comes included with this kit if you are to order it from us. So you got some more options. You got the hearts, which are I'm holding it upside down, that's why. There we go. Alright, so you got some actual HLJ decals on there. So that's cool. You've got the fun hands, the grabby hands, more skulls with crossbones. You got some kind of animal skulls on the bottom. You got some trump cards. So yeah, here in the US we call it decals. So yeah, that's because I'm from the US as well. So I grew up calling it decals, but then you watch UK model builders on YouTube, and you meet other like European model builders here in Japan, and they say decals. But in America, we say decals. But in Japanese, what do you say?
Decaru.
Alright, so decaru. There you go. So water sticky thingies. I like that term. So the commenter said water sticky thingies. So yeah, water sticky thingies. You gotta cut them up. You gotta cut these sheets up, dip it in the water, and then slide it onto the plastic parts wherever you want to put them. So 2 decal sheets included with this kit if you were to buy it from HobbyLink Japan. the standard stock one as well as the HobbyLink Japan limited edition decal sheet. So that is cool to see. So, oh gosh, I really did stall. And you got this nice kind of thank you note from Kao Yokoyama saying thank you for buying this kit from HobbyLink Japan. So that's a really nice thank you note. Okay, all right. So I don't think actually we're going to end up getting around to building. So what tools did you bring to? Well, this is a build series. This is not going to be build in one episode. We only have an hour, so that would be impossible to do anyway. This is a build series. So let's take a look. What oh, we got a comment. Wow, Miss Gunpla TV, good to see you, man. Thank you very much for that comment, Javier. It's nice to have you guys back. It has definitely been a number of years since the end of the Gunpla TV series. I won't get into too much onto why that died, but we are back for every live shows from every other week from now on, so be sure to tune in. We take a look not just at Gundam now, but the show is kind of more focusing on other kind of scale stuff or Mashisen Krieger kits, but the focus for this show going forward is going to be just the kits that you can build yourself. Although one kit type that I probably will not want to focus on too much is like the Bishoujo. I'm sorry, I'm just not terribly interested in building a model kit of a sexy girl figure. I mean, if you love it, more power to you. They sell wonderfully. Lots of people love them, but I think for this show, we're going to be staying away from building sexy girly figure kits. So, all right, so what tools did you bring? So I had to decide what tools, if I'm going to build this kit on camera and I don't want to bring too much with me, what tools do I desperately want to have in my toolbox? And so this is, I figured this is going to be mostly like a Gundam kit, so I'm not going to need to go too crazy into doing any filing or sanding or nub marks. 'Cause when I build kits, I don't end up using files or sandpaper much. So like that BMW kit, I did not use a file or sandpaper once.
Maybe you have many sprue. すごいナイススプルーだから。
Yeah, so
スプルーカッターだから。
the system, there's a pinup kit in the background. Okay, so that is true. There's a pinup kit in the background for a sexy girl, but the background is separate from this kind of show. But it's a really nice background. So for me, I brought 3 nippers and a hobby knife. This is actually a hobby knife. So one weird thing, I don't know, just something that personally I prefer is when it comes to stuff like hobby knives, I love really short hobby knives.
How do you use it?
So for me, I like to have it, I like to use like the inside of my finger to kind of provide a support, a back. So I have this knife. Unfortunately, I don't think I tried to look for a link on the HobbyLink Japan, but I didn't buy this at HobbyLink Japan. I bought this at a separate store. This is a brass handle, which is made to look like a bullet, and then it has the knife attachment for an Olfa blade, a designed knife at the top of it, and it's got a nice weight to it because this is brass, and I just love the small handle. So other tools that I use at home, I've actually customized them to I cut. We'll look at the tool that you brought, but yeah, I end up just cutting the knife just to make it nice and small like that. But yeah, for me, I love having a small knife that I can kind of balance it on my finger like this, so then I have like that support. So like if it doesn't move, so it makes it feel a bit more stable in my hand when I'm holding it like this. Because actually, yeah, give me your knife. Well, it doesn't matter, anything. So yeah, here's the normal standard art blade, right? So you got this nice long handle, but when you're holding it in your hand, you've got this extra part at the back that's just hanging out in the wind. I don't know, just for me personally, I don't. And then yeah, and it's based on the side of your finger. It's resting on the side of the finger. So for me, it kind of, I don't know. I just don't really like that, the feel of that. So if I can, when I use a knife, yeah, I just personally prefer having the nice short stubby handle. So that's just something weird for me. So yeah, so I mentioned I don't really use sandpaper or files. I do have them, and I have used them before, but when I'm building something quick, especially if it's just needed for like YouTube type of thing, then I don't want to spend too much time on it. So if I end up with like a nub mark that I couldn't cut off with a nipper, then I'll just go in with a knife and kind of scrape it off or just carve it off a little bit. So that's why I brought my little stubby knife with me, and it comes with a little cap here. So that's my stubby knife, and I have 3 nippers. So you probably are wondering, why would you use 3 nippers? Why would you need 3 nippers? So, longtime viewers of the Gundam TV, or the old Gunpla TV, know that I'm a really huge fan of the God Hand Ultimate nippers. Now, I love these, and actually this pair itself it's getting a bit ratty looking, but this was probably one of the very first pairs that I bought back in 2012, so I think these are 12 or 13 years. I've been using it for a long time, and the reason for that is I find the original production run God Hand nippers, the blades tend to be stronger than the recent ones. So at some point in the original God Hand Ultimate, when they originally started producing these nippers, they were making them by hand. And they got really popular at some point, and then they switched to building them by machine, and even the brand new ones are still going to be my favorite nippers out there, but I found them to be, the newer ones, to be a bit more delicate. So I think over the years I have probably ended up breaking about 5 or 6 pairs of God Hand Ultimate nippers, because they can be a bit delicate. So I haven't broken any lately, although mostly I use the stronger older pair. But yeah, I did try to switch to like newer ones, and I ended up breaking a number of them. So I just go back to using my old trusty old pair. But to prevent breaking them, and actually that's kind of why I started to use multiple nippers in the end. So let's go ahead and take off the caps for all of these nippers. They're not all God Hand actually, but look, this one actually looks like God Hand. But these two are going to be God Hand. So the blue handled ones are going to be the God Hand Ultimates, and the red ones are going to be what they call the Blade 1.
Blade 1.
So these are not as sharp as the Ultimates. And because of that though, they're also a little bit stronger. So when I'm building kits, what I do, what I've switched to doing, and this has kind of prevented me from breaking more pairs, because a lot of times when I ended up breaking my Ultimates, the other pairs, I was using them to cut parts off of the runners. But if you don't use the Ultimates to cut the parts off of the runners, I find they will last you a lot longer. So one thing that the packaging for the Ultimates note is, do not cut anything thicker than like 2mm. And another thing I want to add to that, having broken a number of them, is don't use Ultimates for cutting parts, cutting clear plastic parts, because clear plastic tends to be a bit harder. Kind of keep these for softer plastic, like the colored in this Kangaroo kit, the tan and the green colored plastic is probably going to be fine, but like the clear parts I would more use for using the Blade 1s. So for cutting the parts off of the runners, I'll use the Blade 1s, but I cut it off of the runner, and then I leave a little bit of sprue, right? So I use this to cut it off the runner, and then I'll switch to the Ultimate to cut off that last part. And that gives me that nice clean part. And then the black one, these are actually going to be Minashima, and these are the Minashima premium nippers, I think they call them. But yeah, they look almost identical, right? But actually, I think God Hands, when they originally were sold, I think they used Minashima maybe as their supplier or as a distribution channel. I could be wrong in that, but that was such a long time ago. But I don't think they are made in Japan. So these actually could be built at the same tool company here in Japan. So that could be, but they look identical. Now these Minashima nippers are going to be even stronger than the blade ones. So if I've got something like the BMW kit that I built, it has the chrome plastic. And that chrome plastic is really strong plastic. So for those type of parts, to cut them off of the runner, I would use these Minishima nippers. And then I would maybe use the blade ones to go and finish off that little last piece of runner. But actually I discovered the chrome plastic, it actually ended up being a bit soft in the end, so I could use the ultimates to cut off that last bit. But yeah, so that's why I have 3 nippers. So this is for the very final cut, to cut the last little tiny piece of nub off the part, and then I use these 2 bad boys for cutting the parts off of the runners. So for me, when I was thinking what tools do I want to build or want to bring to build this kit, those were the 3 tools that they were basically the 4 tools that I decided to bring with me, that I really wanted to use most. But what did you bring?
I bring this. Actually, I brought 2.
You have 2 nippers as well.
Yes.
So what nippers do you bring?
This 3 peaks nipper.
The 3 peaks nipper. So one thing that's interesting about this is that it doesn't use a standard spring. It uses the plastic. And this is replaceable.
Yes.
Oh, you're gonna pop it out.
So we have 2 types of these.
Okay, so you can if you want like a stronger or weaker, then you can change it. And like plastic, because plastic wears out over time. So once that kind of wears out, then you can switch that and be able to continue to use it. So like the spring on like the normal God hand, like I've been using these for more than 10 years, and maybe the spring, it still works fine for me, but it's probably not as strong as it once was back in the day. So that's kind of cool. Although I do think you could probably get replacement springs from God hand. I haven't looked into it. I'm still happy with that, but that's an interesting feature, I think, for those.
I cut the strong parts with this.
Okay, so that's your strong part cutter. Is this going to be your finishing nipper?
So that's Tamiya's なんていうの、薄刃ニッパー。
So that's like the newer style. They had 2 versions of these. The sharp-pointed nipper.
Sharp-pointed nipper.
I think that's what it was called, right? The sharp-pointed, to me, the commenter said, to me, 1, 2, 3 nippers are good enough for me. So you are in the same thinking as Matsuri-chan. You guys both love your Tamiya nippers. So Tamiya also is a pretty good nipper. Pretty nice, pretty sharp. So there is that. All right, what other tools did you bring?
I brought many knives.
So you brought a whole lot more tools than I did.
So this
is that an actual knife though? I noticed it's a scraper. Oh, you have it.
No.
Oh, I see.
I always lose the cap.
So you rotate it so the sharp point's on the inside. That's clever. I thought it was just a scraper when I handled it earlier. I was like, oh, she brought a scraper. No, it's just. Okay, so a Tamiya design knife.
The Tamiya design knife.
And there's the scraper.
Scraper. I bought it.
All right, the ceramic scraper. Those are very useful to have, right?
I also lost
you lost the cap. So you built your own cap.
So Exacto.
Exacto. Now, why do you have an Exacto in addition to a Tamiya?
So this.
Oh, the curved blade.
So it's easy to use.
So sometimes it is a bit more useful to have a curved blade instead of a sharp blade. So it makes it a bit easier for cutting stuff off sometimes.
This is my favorite one.
This is your favorite tool?
Choco scraper.
Okay, the chocolate scraper?
So, but I
from
always break
Fun
this.
Tech?
So.
Now these are available on HobbyLink Japan.
Yes.
These, and one cool thing about these FunTech is the same kind of round little blade holder series. They have scribers as well. So this is a scraper, but you can get like scriber in like the same type of thing and use the same handle. This handle is actually a mechanical pencil.
So just a pencil. So it's cheap.
It's cheap.
I bought at the stationery shop.
Yeah, like 300 yen or something for that. 500 yen maybe, 700 yen. But yeah, it's a really nice.
It's light and useful.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
I always use it as a file.
So whenever you need to just scrape or file something off, you switch between the ceramic or that FunTech. And there's your file. What's your favorite file?
I don't remember which maker I bought it. どっかのメーカーの
Oh, isn't that
metal file.
Well, I was gonna say Platts, but no, maybe not.
Maybe I bought it.
Is it the Platts?
Yes, I think I bought it somewhere at Shizoka Hobby Show.
Okay, yeah, Platts. Always was it Alec? Hobby Alec? Was that the name of the Platts tool brand?
Maybe I don't remember.
Yeah, there's a Japanese manufacturer called Platts, and they produce their own hobby tools, specialized hobby tools, and they have a number of cool things. And seeing that file, it kind of reminds me of. I don't know if that's exactly the Platts one. Actually, can I see that? I don't think. Yeah, nothing marked on here. It's just a nice file. Oh, this is good. So one thing I like is this is actually a normal tooth. It's a really fine tooth file, this thing. But ooh, there's the camera. But yeah, I like that this is just a normal tooth file. I'm not a huge fan of diamond files personally. The diamond files, they feel like, even though they can be like a really fine tooth on that diamond file, I don't know. I just don't personally like the diamond files. I like the files like this that are really finely cut. That's my preference. A curved blade is good for flush cutting without the corners gouging. So that was one of the comments we have from Ragnarok 40. Thank you very much for the comment. That is a very good one, a good point regarding the curved blade. So what other? You brought so much more. Okay, we won't. It's already past 1 hour, so in the end, I was right. We're not actually going to get around to building, but we will continue this build series over a course of a number of episodes. But we did the unboxing for this episode and looking at the tools that we brought to actually build the kit. So we will build it, continue to build it in a future episode. So be sure to tune in for that. But you actually brought more. And I have my favorite glue. I actually didn't bring this. Thankfully, it was here in the office. I have Mr. Hobby, Mr. Cement S, and you brought the Tamiya versions. You've got the Tamiya thin, extra thin cement. And this is the new version, right? The quick setting. Okay, so you got the quick setting. This is what you believe is the best, and I tend to more just use the Mr. Cement S when I do the stuff, and they recently changed the design of the bottles. They used to have square, just like the Tamiya, but last year, I think it was, or has it been 2 years?
Last year.
Was it just last year? They switched for some reason to having round bottles, so this is the brand new one. So, and it's a bit taller cap, so. But they are both really good glues. Both of them interchangeably can be used. Unfortunately, we cannot sell these glues on our international site because they are technically hazardous materials. But especially the Tamiya one, Tamiya does have a rather large distribution channel for outside countries, so you can buy Tamiya extra thin cement in America, and I'm pretty sure Tamiya also imports it themselves into European countries. Outside of the European and American, Canadian market, though, I don't know if it'll be a bit more difficult to find these glues. But yeah, for building kits like this, when you do need to use glue, personally, I really just love the thin type of glue, because you can just put it's more similar to building a Gundam kit where you just kind of put the part together, but unfortunately they don't snap together. They'll hold together relatively decently, but you can just use this thin glue to kind of whisk it into the crack. And then it just holds the part, and it doesn't leave like a messy glue type of mark. Because growing up in America, probably a lot of other American viewers or even overseas viewers know as well, like the testors, the orange tube, or even worse, the blue tube testors glue, that stuff was really thick to use, and especially when you were a kid growing up, you don't really know, maybe you just kind of put the tube on like the part, and then just like and then you squeeze it together, and like a whole bunch of glue like oozes out from the crack, and then it leaves marks, and then you touch it with your finger, and then like you melt your fingerprint into the part. But yeah, I mean, it's not terrible. Now that you're older, you know, okay, that type of glue I have to just use like a toothpick and just apply a little bit into the part. But when you're a kid, you don't know that, and you just end up with these horribly looking built kits. So So we got some comments about the glues. 10X7R plastic welder. I think that is kind of similar to the thin type of glue. So yeah, overseas I think people tend to be a bit more creative with glues that they use. But here in Japan, because we have Tamiya, we have Mr. Hobby, model kit builders out here don't have to go crazy looking for glues to build. It's easy to go to just basically nearly most electronic stores. Have like a hobby section where it'd be easy to find this type of glue, or order it online and there's no problem shipping it within Japan. But yeah, overseas you got the 10X. Yeah, you get the Tamiya bottle for the brush. So one thing, both of these actually, they both have the brush included on the inside. The brushes for both of them are pretty similar, I find. So that's another really nice thing about these bottles, is you don't have to use any kind of outside extra brush. It's already included in there. So that's a really great feature, a really great comment. Okay, so I do have to say it's probably time that we do need to wrap this up. We've gone about 15 minutes over. I can't find the decal stuff in Mexico. Are you talking about like the decal type of setting and solutions? Though, yeah, that unfortunately any kind of liquid type of paints or the decal. Yeah, the Mr. Hobby Tamiya also has like the decal setting and softener type of solutions. Unfortunately, none of that stuff we can ship it overseas just because of the hazardous laws. Basically, liquids in general are really hard to ship internationally. Like a number of years ago, we actually tried selling like Pepsi, like limited edition Japanese colas. Drinks. We tried to ship drinks. We were selling them on the .com site, these liquid drinks, and shipping them internationally, but I think it ended up being just too much of a hassle. Shipping companies were like rejecting shipments, and like we could only ship it via Japanese post. This was before COVID. But yeah, that was an experiment that didn't go so well. Unfortunately, we can no longer try it, but we did try to ship that kind of stuff. So, all right. So sorry, we didn't get around to building anything this episode. But we will be back for more episodes. So we will continue the Kangaroo build in future episodes as well. The next time we are going to be back in 2 weeks is going to be for an episode discussing the Shizoka Hobby Show, because it will be the week after. Have you decided, are you going to go for the Saturday, Sunday?
Yes.
Okay. So take lots of pictures for us on the Saturday, Sunday. So Matsuri-chan is going for the general audience Saturday, Sunday show, because she'll be at the club booth like showing. So take lots of pictures, and we'll take a look at lots of pictures. We'll talk about what was announced at that show next week. We're gonna try maybe not a live episode, but I was talking with others here at HobbyLink, so we might try to film some snippets from the show itself and maybe edit together some kind of video and just upload it to the YouTube channel, just to kind of look at some of the exciting announcements. And then the week after that, we'll be back for another live episode where we will talk about the exciting stuff from the show and the stuff that interesting stuff that you see that people have built and brought to the show. So that'll be fun. So maybe the week after that, we'll get back to building the Kangaroo. We'll have to see some more styling on the next episode. So yes, so that's going to be it for today's episode. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning into this episode. I do promise we will continue to build the Kangaroo in the upcoming episodes. So we will actually build something on this show. But yeah, that's going to be it. So thank you once again for tuning into this episode. If you did find this at least kind of amusing, be sure to leave a like and hit that subscribe button as well to our channel. And yeah, that's going to be it. So I don't have anything else to say. Do you? No? Okay. Well, that's going to be it. Thank you very much for tuning in. Arigatou gozaimasu. We'll see you again in a future episode. Talk about the Shizoka Hobby exciting announcements. Will we get the perfect grade? No. We'll find out next week.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.